I'm going to give you a second to get your notification. I'm seriously so cold. So while you're hopping on and we're getting streaming here, tell me how cold it is for you guys. So I don't know what the temperature is now currently outside now that the sun has gone down, but I know when I went out to unfreeze my truck this morning, it was like 12 degrees, which compared to the other morning was actually even warmer, but it definitely gets below zero where I am. So the month of January for me is very much a time where I have to really focus on not allowing myself to get depressed. So tell me, what is the temperature? What's the weather like for you? Where are you at? Probably. Hello, Alice. Love your name. You could probably tell. Well, you probably can't tell actually because you can't see because it's behind my head. I have Alice. Well, there is Alice over here. Other way. I have Alice in Wonderland in my office. Oh, yeah. Alice is over up above. Everything's opposite that way. Okay, perfect. You guys, I have some amazing stuff to tell you about when it comes to fear. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Hello, New York, 12 degrees. Yeah, I hear you. That's about where we're at here. Okay. Also want to just tell you, please, winner, lobster dinner. I love it. If you subscribe to my YouTube, comment, share one of my videos and tag me in it. I have tons of videos. You can share anyone you want. Tag me in it. I give away an awesome gift. We are starting over today. So in every 2 weeks, we'll give away some soul deliciousness, whether it will be a session or one of my awesome cool things from my favorite company, Nature Sunshine, like an essential oil. I have boxes all over. I don't know where they are, but they have so many cool things. Okay. So we're going to dive into this. California. Do I ship to Guam? As far as if I'm giving away something, it probably would depend on what I was giving away. Okay. What's the temperature in California? Probably a little warmer than it is here. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, guys. So we're going to talk about fear. First of all, who the heck am I? I see lots of new names. So let me just caveat this. My name is Amy Jorgensen, and I created this channel and all these channels as we're streaming to different places because I went through some pretty serious traumas and I was lost and I was seeking in desperation. I was on medication. I was, Kelsey, where are you? 32. You must be in Southern Utah because it is definitely not 32 here. I was going to doctors on medication, just trying to get my life together. I had lost my spouse and my daughter. And so I have created this beautiful soul deliciousness to help other people. And you will see if you are just new, I live it unapologetically. This is all the stuff I love. This is how I am. I dress for PJ success. So I teach people how to love their inner child. In fact, if you stay on till the end, I will show you one of my new journals that I just designed. It's so cute. I love it. I love it so much. It's so good coming up for Valentine's Day. So you don't want to miss that. Okay, let's hop into this fear. So scary. I'm going to tell you 3 amazing things that you can do. And then you'll also notice in the link, I have included another video. It goes a lot more in depth into the subconscious and how you can do 3 specific techniques with your subconscious mind to work on your fear, and they work amazing. So these are things that I practice with clients that are really getting into the neurological part of the mind. Salt Lake City, you guys are always a little bit warmer than we are. So, but that's like way warmer than we are. Kind of crazy. So she lives over the mountain on the other side from where I am. I'm in Cache Valley, and we tend to be a little bit colder than Salt Lake City. But in case you ever come to that area, I'm about 2 hours away from Salt Lake. All right. Second thing I want to tell you, if you have ever heard of this really cool thing called human design, it's pretty exciting. So I'm launching a beta group. And if you don't know what a beta group is, it is a group where I'm basically creating the content as I go. So I absolutely love teaching. I love curriculum development. It's one of my things. I got a master's degree in education just for that. And so I basically create the curriculum as we go, and then I record it so that it can then be used as a course later for people to purchase and watch. And so you get to be part of the actual creation of it as the beta group. So I'll come and say, like, hey, for example, I did 300 below zero. Vicki, where are you? Would it like the Antarctic? But I do the beta group. So as we're going along, I can be like, hey, I did this with my practitioners. So if you've ever wanted to certify in energy healing, I have this super amazing program. And you'll notice, different from how everyone else likes to do things, it's actually super, super, super duper affordable, just like my sessions are. Because I want everyone to be able to partake in the deliciousness of energy work. And so I did a beta group, right? And so I would get with my beta group practitioners and say, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to see next? Like, what can I do to help you to accelerate? Oh my goodness, April, hello. Hello from Canada. It's pretty cold. Happy New Year to you as well. Beautiful. You've been with me for almost my entire journey on social media. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So I'm beta launching another group about human design, and I'm going to dissect human design into an understandable, really logical way for you to embrace what it is. I'm not going to go into that in detail because right now I'm just kind of putting the feelers out there. I'm going to keep the group at a size that I can manage it, because we're going to read your human design charts and teach you how to do that. And so I don't want it to be super massive, or I won't be able to give that one-on-one that I love to do when I do a group. Okay. So if that's something that you're kind of interested in, or you've thought about it, or that's sparking you and you want to see what your human design is and how to understand how to read all that stuff, send me a message and I will get you more information about it. But tonight, we're going to show you, I'm going to teach you about 3 things that you can do. I love to do sets of 3. So you'll see that we're doing 3 in this video, but then I've also posted another video that's going to be the start of my library collection, where I'm giving you really juicy stuff. So there's 3 more things that you can also go hop into that and write. Like, I don't like to charge a lot, as you'll see. Some people that I work with, they're like, that's because you don't understand your value. You're devaluing yourself. No, it's because I like to do things on my own accord. And so it's $5 because I like for everyone to have access to it. So let's talk about these first 3, and then you can hop in there if you want to do the 3 more. Know that the other 3 are a lot more like subconscious alignment with like NLP practices and stuff. So it's pretty cool. But these ones are going to be even easier. All right. So fear, what the heck is it? Okay, guys, unless you're about to be eaten by something, fear is really just a figment of your imagination. It really honestly is. And what I am scared of, you might not be scared of, because we have filters, and everything that I'm going through is going through a system of filters where I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to take action, throw it away. Is it something that I'm going to react to? So my fear is very different than yours. Point in. Ooh, I'm going to put this on. So I just saw, like, my grandmother passed away, and my mom had some of her jewelry, and I didn't even notice it, but I have this really beautiful ring. Here's the cool thing. So guys, when you pay attention, there are so many beautiful connections in your life. Okay. So my grandmother passed away, and she was not into energy healing, but she loved turquoise. So I asked my mom if I could have one of her turquoise pieces, and she really didn't have much. Well, actually she did, but it, we got the hand-me-downs that everyone else got to take, whatever. Anyways, I regress. So my son actually noticed this in the pile, and I know you can't really see it very well, and it's not going to focus on it because of me in the background. Anyway, I'm not even going to try. But these are some beautiful stones, and it ended up being that they are the birthstone for my daughter that passed away. So I don't know why my grandma has them because that's not when her birthday was. But anyways, isn't that so cool? So now I connected it right to my guides on the other side, to my ancestors, to my grandmother, and to my daughter. And bam, it comes together in a ring with my daughter's birthstone that is my grandma's ring, right? And I wish I would have known she had this before she passed away because I would love to know the story about why she has October stone in a ring. But anyways, let's go back to fear. So unless you're about to be eaten, fear is just something that you imagine. And so the first thing that I'm going to tell you is talk yourself through this. Okay. Talking to yourself. We really underestimate this. We're so good at like, what do you do if you have a problem with someone? If I have a problem with my spouse, I'm going to go and what? Talk to him about it. Do the same thing with yourself. Okay, what is it that I'm imagining is going to happen? So let's use the scenario. Let's say that I am afraid to apply for a position, apply for a job, apply for a position, wherever. I'm scared to death. Why? What is the worst thing that is going to happen? And I ask myself that, okay, what exactly is it that I am imagining? Am I going to go to the job? Let's say it's a job. Am I going to go to the job interview? And I mean, this is taking me back to my military days. Okay. So, because of the airplane I flew, I'm a storyteller, by the way. Because of the airplane I flew, KC-135s, we have no weapon systems on this plane. There's actually a picture of it, but you can't see it because see that? It's right there. It's a Boeing 707. No weapon systems on it at all. So we're just a gigantic flying gas tank. And it's an air refueling plane. And so because of this, I got to go through this amazing course called Survival School, where they basically captured us and threw us in a mock prisoner of war camp. I should just write a book about that experience. But it reminds me of like when I'm telling you, like when you go in for a job interview, what's the worst thing that can happen? Like I go back to like being interrogated in this prisoner of war camp. Believe it or not, they were actually allowed to hit us. And so, yeah, I got hit. Which when someone hits you like that, it takes a minute for you to be like, what in the heck just happened to me? But they were allowed to hit us because they're trying to break you down and teach you what to do if you get captured and put into a prisoner of war camp. So, right, when you go in for a job interview, is anyone going to strap you into a chair and punch you in the face? I know that sounds extreme, but that's literally like, when I started asking that question to myself, what's the worst thing that can happen at this job interview? I went back to a memory, right? I went back to a memory. You might be going back to a memory too. What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you in a job interview? What's the worst thing that ever happened to you when you were speaking in front of someone, a group? That could be where you're pulling this from. Okay. So mine is obviously the prisoner of war camp. So now I'm going to have this conversation with myself. Amy, are you going to go to this job interview and someone is going to strap you to a chair and punch you in the face when you don't answer correctly? No. Okay, good. Right there. Do you see how that's working? Like work it out for yourself. No. Okay, so what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? Worst thing that might happen to you is you might stumble over some words. You can use some of the techniques in the link that I posted. They're really good for being in a situation where you're really nervous when you're talking to someone like this. Okay. But what's the worst thing that can happen? We like to use this thing in the military. Is anyone going to die from this? Because that's what we're doing, right? We're basically trying to keep ourselves safe. So if no one's going to die from this, I'm really not going to make it a big, huge deal. We would even do that when we were flying. Is the airplane on fire? Okay, no, it's not. Everyone take a deep breath. It's just an alarm saying that whatever is going on. But if the plane isn't on fire, we got extra engines, we have extra hydraulic systems. Okay, take a deep breath, think it through. Don't focus on a little tiny thing, because we were always taught in crew resource management too that crews would get into these problems where they had some little tiny thing like a light stuck on, and they crash the airplane into a mountain because everybody's focused on this like little light, and nothing's even wrong with the plane. It's just like a burnt out or something bulb, and they end up running into a mountain because they're focused. Okay, so worst thing that can happen, what are you imagining? Okay, is that really going to happen? So that first one is having that conversation with yourself. Talk yourself through it, because when you do, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to not going to, you know, be traumatized physically when I go to the job interview. Okay, yeah, you're right. And then your subconscious is like, yeah, you're being a little silly. Okay, so that's the first one. Oh, cool. Venus has moved, by the way. A line change has been detected. If that excites you, message me. You want to get involved in my human design group. Okay. Second, we want to expand our thresholds. And people call this getting out of the comfort zone, but I don't really like that, because you know what? In case you didn't notice, like I'm all about being super comfy and cozy, and it's cold outside. So I want to be in my comfort zone, but I like to think about these as thresholds, because when someone tells me to get out of my comfort zone, that does not sound comfortable. So I hate that term. I don't call it that. I want to make my thresholds bigger. Okay. So here we are. We're kids. We're little kiddos. We're, I don't know, how old are we? 12 months old. Okay. So kids, 12 months old, I'm barely learning to walk, right? Where's my threshold for being able to walk? Let's think of it as crawling. Okay. Crawling, walking, running. Okay. So I haven't learned to walk yet. So my threshold for this is really small. I don't have the cognitive capability to start walking, and then I start walking. What happens? What happens when you start walking? You fall down a lot. You fall down a lot. You hurt yourself. But what are you doing? You're pushing the threshold. So at first, you're taking little tiny steps, and then you start taking more steps, and then you're taking more steps. And what happens, right? At some point, you can walk really well, and then you learn to run. See how that works? But at the beginning, your threshold is really small. But as a child, should you be fearing the fact of walking? Absolutely. If you look at it as an adult, if you were learning to walk as an adult, you would be horrified. Horrified. But as a kid, here's the difference. You don't care. And you don't give up, because what's everybody else around you doing? Good job, Amy, you're walking. And they're so excited. And so then guess what fear is exactly like? Excitement. Honestly, your fear is someone else's excitement. If I take you up in an airplane and I tell you we're gonna skydive, and that's not something you like to do, that's not a good example, because I don't like to skydive either. Let's do something different. Okay, a lot of people are terrified of horses. So if I take you out in my yard and I'm like, get on this horse and go, and you've never rode before, you're terrified, right? You have fear. And for me, it's exciting. Like I want to get on my horse and go. Same thing for some people with skydiving. My complete fear, even though I was a pilot, I do not jump out of airplanes, and I'm terrified to skydive, is someone else's complete excitement. So your fear when you were a kid is changed into excitement, because suddenly you realize as you're walking, you have this freedom. You have a freedom to start running, and people are telling you you're so amazing. So if I did that to you and I was like, oh, Jessica, you're so amazing. If I walked into a job interview, right, and the people are like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. You look so good on paper. You're so qualified. Your resume is the most amazing resume we've ever seen. And oh, by the way, the person in charge of human resource management that gets to make this decision about whether or not you get hired follows you on Facebook and has read all your books, and they just love you. How has that changed my fear? Like, right? I'm walking in and now I'm like, oh, okay. My subconscious mind is hearing all this. My cognitive mind is getting into alignment. And suddenly now I'm sitting down to do an interview and I'm like, I got this in the bag, right? Because the person that walked me in is telling me all about how amazing I am. And it's just like when I'm a kid and I'm starting to walk. Pretty cool, huh? Becoming a pilot. Do you think that was scary? Absolutely. Every day was scary. I had this horrible anxiety and I just pushed through it. I mean, it was super bad to the point where um, I would go on a check ride, which is where you were being tested. They're evaluating your flying, and I would fly every day beautifully. But the moment I went on a check ride and I had a check ride examiner or a check ride instructor, I flew like I didn't know how to fly. And that is all just because my fear, right? It took over. And if I knew then what I know now, I would have been able to completely control that. Because I look back and I would have told you, no, I don't have any control over this. There's nothing I can do. No, really, there was. I just didn't know what I didn't know. Okay. Next one. Actually, I'm not done with that one quite yet. You are filtering things based on something in your past that didn't pan quite out right. And I've been really bad about this one. So excitement is the type of fear that moves you forward. And so that's how I want you to think about it. That's how I started resonating with this. If I'm not feeling a little bit of fear, I'm probably not really moving forward with anything. And so when I start to feel that fear, I'm actually giving you 4 delicious things. When I start to feel that fear, I want to think about it of how is this exciting for me? Okay, because so going to a job interview is scary. And by the way, if anybody that I am around, I am not going to a job interview. This just happens to be the example that's popping up for me. If I'm not feeling a little bit of fear, then let me rephrase that. So I'm going to feel that fear a little bit as some excitement, right? Why am I excited to do this job interview? So that's how I made it through flying. How am I excited to fly? Because then it made my fear manageable. I would think about the exciting parts of flying, even though I was feeling so much anxiety and so much fear, right? I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to fly airplanes. And so that's how I overcame the fear and the exact anxiety that I had that was absolutely overwhelming every single day of my pilot training career. Okay. So this is actually the 4th thing now. This is what, and don't hop off because I'm going to show you my journal and I'm really excited. It's so cute. Here's the last one. Here's the key to today's call. Okay. Are you ready? What is happening today has nothing to do with the results from my past. I'll actually turn that into an affirmation for you. What is happening today has nothing to do with the negative results of my past. It is as unique as a snowflake. Here is what I'm going to tell you. I got some weird thing playing on my meditation radio. I'm really bad at this. So I will compare what's happening right now to something that's happened to me before. And I'm going to tell you that I've had some really bumpy things go on, where I've had some businesses that haven't really panned out. But here's kind of a cool thing. I thought about this the other day because I caught myself doing this where I was like, dang it, stop doing that. The results that are happening or where I'm trying to go with this has nothing to do with what's happened to me in the past, even with a similar situation. So if you've been a business owner before, it's really easy if you have had a business that didn't pan out for you and then you start another one, it's really easy to be like, ooh, in my past business, this happened. So, and then you actually make it happen for yourself. You just start aligning your new business with your past one because that's what you know. And that is absolutely not true. It's something that you are making happen. Every single thing that you're doing has absolutely nothing to do with the negative results from your past unless you are repeating the same behavior and you are not learning. We don't fail. We simply have things happen that we can then be like, oh, I don't want to do that again. So I can look at a business that I had before and be like, okay, it has not even, the business I had before isn't even like the business that I have now. Yet my subconscious mind takes me back to that space all the time. And I have to really work on that for myself and be like, wait a minute, this isn't even the same business. It's not even close to the same thing. You're not even doing the same thing. So stop bringing in that energy from before. This is unique like a snowflake, because otherwise, what am I going to do? I'm going to align myself to do exactly what happened the time before because I'm so set that that's what's happening. And it's not. So make sure that you're not doing that with relationships. Who's done that before? So and so cheated on me. So even though I'm with this really great guy, I'm certain that he must be cheating too because so and so told me that he wasn't cheating and he lied. So I'm certain that my new boyfriend must be lying too because this is what happened last time. You guys, they're not even the same person. Not the same person, not the same situation, but holy moly. You know, I had a friend once that was like, man, if my boyfriend does not stop accusing me of cheating, I'm just going to do it just to prove that he's right. There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. Um, don't be making things happen for yourself based on your past. Just because, you know, boyfriend previous cheated does not mean boyfriend now is going to cheat on you. And if, you know, you're accusing people of stuff, he might just do it just because you're accusing him anyways, or he's just going to leave, or she's going to leave, or whatever it is for you, because they're tired of listening to it, right? So don't get into that space. This is not the same as it was before. Think about this. There's probably a handful of you on here that have had children before. I know most of my followers are women, so I'm just going to say, but even if you're a guy, was every single one of your wives' pregnancies the same? I know for me, every single one of my pregnancies and every single one of my births were completely different. But right, I could be like, oh, well, I'm pregnant again. It's going to be exactly the same. I'm going to have a baby come out. It's going to be exactly the same as last time because I did this before. And you're laughing because you're like, no, you have no control over that. Right. And that's why it probably is different, is because I don't have control over it. Because if I did, I would make it that horrifying as it was the first time, honestly. Okay. All right. Push through it. Relabel the fear. It's actually excitement. Okay, I'm going to show you this journal because I've been waiting. Okay, first of all, if you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, that's fine. So I have these beautiful inner child journals that I have created, and you can buy them on Amazon. And I will show you some of the new ones because I don't actually have them yet, but this is what they look like. And then there's a PDF file on my website that you can download that teaches you or shows you or tells you how to use them. Oh, this one's crispy. But what does the inside look like? So I'm not a fan of just blank pages because those don't really do it for me. So is what you have is a beautiful little, hello, it hasn't been opened. You get a beautiful little letter from moi. And then this is what the insides look like. So the insides are all formatted the same. They just have different graphics. So this is when you see me posting every day and I'm posting noodlings, noodle thoughts. This is what it's for. It's so you can come in here and put your thoughts, your noodling. I actually started putting the word noodle on the new ones, but so it has your thoughts for you to noodle. Hi. It has non-negotiable items. These are the things that I have to get done during the day. I like sets of 3, so I always do 3 things, but you can do more than 3 if you want. Recharge, because I need to remind myself there's got to be something, and don't overthink it. I don't even care if you love hot chocolate, coffee, tea. My recharge is my dedicated 15 minutes of whatever. An affirmation. I love these because it's just fun to be like, I release myself from any resentment, whatever. And then I love gratitude because gratitude is the fastest way. Notice that each one of these I love. These are all the things that I love to do during the day. Gratitude, because I can't move forward unless I'm feeling gratitude. And I love gratitude as a feeling because you can't have a negative emotion and gratitude at the same time. It's impossible. So when I start feeling a negative emotion, I bring in gratitude and I will find the craziest stuff to be thankful for. I'll be like, ooh, I'm thankful for the technology of lotion. I'm thankful for that I have unlimited amounts of water. I'm thankful for my cell phone. I'm thankful for my computer that I can go live. It just goes on and on. Okay. And then a bonus is just for you to write something, if you did something out of the ordinary outside of, maybe I smiled at someone who looked at whatever. Okay. So that's what the insides look like. And then their graphics match the theme. So let me show you. I have some new ones that I will show you. Let's go here and then here. Always make sure I'm not giving away my social security number, or anything cool. Hopefully, here we go. All right. So, you will see them. The easiest way to search for all of them is to go on my blockedemotions.com page because I have them all there. You can type in my full name, but I think it's easier to remember blockedemotions.com. So here's the Alice with the cute pink. There's the Cheshire Cat one that's behind me. Then this is the new one. It's so cute. It's avocado love. You guys, I love it. So on the front is the two little loving avocados. And on the back is a freaking piece of toast. It's so cute. I may just really love it. And so, of course, the inside is avocados and hearts. And so there's that one. These are all 100 pages. So you can plan on having about 90 pages worth of writing, which I like because I get really bored. I get really bored if I have the same thing for a whole year. So I like that I can change the cover. And then you can get them in a hardcover or a paperback. I also made a kitty journal. I haven't shown you guys that one either. So there's one with the kitties, and the inside, of course, has kitty stuff, but so cute. There's the back and the front. And there's a puppy one. Same thing. Here he is, puppies. I showed you guys. So here's something. So you'll notice the Jack and Sally. So Amazon doesn't like my Jack and Sally. Christine. Okay. You can message me or I will reach out to you. So Amazon doesn't like my Jack and Sally. It's apparently too close to the original, which if you ask me, they're not, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, I had an artist make these for me. So I had the artist change them up, and Sally is wearing something different, and she has a crown on, and Jack's wearing a top hat, and Zero doesn't have his pumpkin nose. And so I probably will put that one on Amazon, but just so you know, I'm working with a different publisher. The problem is Amazon allows me to do this, and I don't have to worry about doing any of the shipping part. And with the other publisher, I have to do it all myself, which also means that I have to keep inventory. So just know that I will probably do this one with them because I love it so much. But I also have the option of putting them into spiral bound, which I can't do here. I can only do hardcover and paper back. So if you're like, oh, I love this kitty journal or the avocados, but I really want a spiral bound one, you can message me and I will see about having one made for you. Or if there is a theme that you would like a journal made into. So someone asked me to do the this underwater ocean one, and that's how it came about. But I have a bunch of fun ones in the works coming after the avocados. It does take quite a bit of time to make these, so that's why it takes me a minute. But anyways, okay, there we go. So pop. That's what we got going on. So let's recap. I love it if you share my stuff, please. It helps me out. I love to keep my stuff really affordable for people. So you can give me a nice little energy back there by sharing my things so that other people can see them too. I really, really appreciate it. You can book a session with me. You can join my beta group for if you want to get into the healing human design course that I'm going to do. You want to be in the beta group? Should I just tell you how much it is? Fall out of your chair. It's $67. Yeah, because I'm sort of crazy like that. If you want to become a practitioner, you can message me and I will tell you more about ELV and how you can certify an ELV. And there you go. Okay, so stay warm. Stay warm. I will see you next Monday, if not sooner. Also, if you haven't yet and you're on TikTok, I love to find you on TikTok. Come find me. I'm posting affirmations a lot on TikTok. And so it's just kind of a fun thing to see. Or see. It's kind of a fun thing to see. It's kind of a fun thing to see me do an affirmation. It's a cool thing for you to get on there and do an app and allow yourself to embrace the affirmation. So there you go. Okay, guys, have a beautiful night.